Hello YouTube, Ronan Kazi. I got the audio part down, still working on the video. Got to hit two buttons at once, a little bit old for that. A little bit too tough for me. How to win friends and influence people. Last video, we talked about if there's a trouble in your group, trouble in your family, trouble in your clan, trouble with your friends, and how to deal with that. And I gave you some of the things that you need to do. I'm going to go a little bit further and suggest something that's very pop culture-ish, but I've seen it work again and again. It's something that you don't have to get from me. It's literally the book, the Dale Carnegie book about how to win friends and influence people. I worked with a gentleman once who we sent to this course. He wasn't a direct report. He worked for another person. Technically, he was brilliant, great guy, great work ethic. And they sent him this course, and his career took off. He got hired by a major corporation and has risen up the ranks. And, you know, he just needed that little bit of something to get him over the edge. And really, why are you so angry? Why are you so angry? So if you aren't to the point now where you're going to start, you know, you can get your objectives by brute force, but eventually you can use this other side, this side of persuasion. I like to tell people that have worked for me before that everyone's a salesperson. You're constantly selling everyone on everything. Your ideas, your friends on what to do, your friends on what to eat. This matters. Doesn't matter how old you are. Everyone's doing this. And so one of the hardest things in sales for people to do, since everyone's doing this, is to ask someone for the money. And that's called closing. So when you close someone, you're basically saying some derivative of the following. Have I done enough for you to buy what I'm selling? Whether it's a date, whether it's a machine, whether it's an idea, whether it's, you know, where to go eat. You have to be able to ask to close. And part of this mission here, of course, I'm in Star Wars: The Old Republic. I am a Jedi Shadow, but I'm doing the Jedi Knight story. I think it's the best story in the game. And I'm going to start showing you how I do the aesthetics of the video. You're not going to see a lot. It's not too many spoiler alerts. But it's a really good, I suggest that if the game's on sale to go ahead and play that. You don't have to do the Jedi. You could be a bounty hunter, whatever you want to be. The stories are all great in that first part. And so that's what this character, my character, is doing, is I am trying to get back a doctor who has a lot of studies and is very important to my side. And the person, my counterpart on the other side, keeps trying to get me killed. But as you've seen before, I have a droid that's going to heal me, and I have an AoE skill that I'm just going to chop people up with the lightsaber. Ha-ha! So you're always selling. And if you want to see a movie that's about selling that's great, it's Glenn Ross. And that's, in a nutshell, what it's like to really have to be a salesperson. And a great line in that is Alex Baldwin says, one of the people, Jack Lemmon, goes to get a cup of coffee, and Alec Baldwin screams out, and everyone's not hitting their sales goals. So he screams out, "Coffee is for closers," and the guy looks at him like he's nuts. And it's a fun line to say. But believe it or not, you're closing on everyone. You're not going to win every sale. Can you make someone do what they don't want? No, you can't. If everyone could do that, or if anyone could do that, they'd rule the world, because they would just go convince everyone of what they wanted. You have to have someone, when you're selling something, ideas, you got to have like the 4 dimensions, I say. You know, you've got to have you got to be there in every dimension, whether it's price, whether they're interested. It's got to be the right time is usually the one that we don't think about a lot is, you know, the timing. Think about how many times you might have had friends or something and it seemed like everything was going good. It just, you're at different stages of your life. Maybe they had kids, maybe you didn't, or vice versa. And so, in the last video, we talked about you're in a situation where the group's floundering, they have some problems. If you're the leader, you have some leadership things, which I've gone over and over again. What if I'm in the group? I gave you some strategies. I've talked about the importance of the relationship. If it's your child, if it's your parent, if your loved one, you know, different strategies. But if you want to know the nuts and bolts, what to do next, if you're one of those people, I highly suggest to read that book. Simple book. It's timeless. And if you don't want to do that and you want to figure it out yourself, you can figure it out yourself. But it's going to be a lot of testing and fails. You're always going to fail at sales. Again, you can't make people buy what they don't want. I don't care if you're the best salesperson in the world. If a vegetarian, you're not going to convince them to have a steak, right? You're going to coerce them at that point. It gets past that. Someone's got to want to be doing something. Well, then it almost seems worthless. Remember, you're trying to win over friends or influence them, and you want to persuade them. Conversely, people are always doing this to you. So it's good to know how to do this to other people, and then it's good to see that when they're doing it to you, to understand that. And this is part of the social contract, and this is part of this mission, right? I'm trying to get the scientists back. The Watcher from the Empire is there before me. That's one of their like secret agents, a higher level secret agent. This is normally when I ask you to like, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, subscribe, share, get notifications, comment if it's working, that YouTube hasn't shut it off. Must be something good, folks, if YouTube is starting to shut me down. Oh, 346 of you. Thank you, everyone, for helping. And so this is part of your gaming. This is part of your life. This is part of how you interface with the people in your life. These are all these things. There's no secret that I'm telling you. This has all been laid before. Whether you do this or not, it's up to you. But these are skills that you need to have. If I've talked about this before, games are models of behavior. So sometimes it's modeling war. In some of these BioWare games, some of these Bethesda games, you're doing a lot of this talking and picking how you're going to go through these scenarios. Now I meet Watcher again.
You backed him into a corner.
Assured him we are.
And I'm still trying to convince him.
I thought we destroyed that irritating machine.
And there's multiple things that are happening here in Star Wars. No, don't kill the other droid. That's going to get you trouble, bro.
Now you both.
But it's not him. It was a fake him. But that's kind of the thing that's going on here. In this game, you want your companion to like you. You're worrying about your dark side, light side points, and you're worried about how to influence the game. Quick aside, I've told you before that I like to level up so I don't have to worry about leveling in the game. I'm over leveled. The level for this planet is like 16 to 20. I'm like 24. So I have no problem doing it. And that's what I suggest in some of these kind of games. You really want to get in the story. So I went through and ran this whole story. Now I pared it down to 16 minutes of what I thought was the best story and for me to talk about it. But it took 40 minutes because there's a lot of running. I don't know how to get in my car yet and all that stuff. I think one of the scenes here I'm going to show you that I'm driving around. And those guys are always spies. So I don't know if he was the watcher. Look, see, he was the guy I met up there, Shyster. So I think we're coming to a truce now. I'm trying to win him over as a friend and influence him.
Welcome, Master Jedi.
When I was younger, so they sent me over here. That guy let me know as a part of a thing that they're going to get attacked. And so the other overarching story in here is light side, dark side. So that's a Sith. That is a dark side person. I'm a light side person. I'm a Jedi. They're a Sith, so you're going to get to see this battle. And she controls those monsters. And I say, hey, those monsters are scared of crap. And she's like, yes, they're scared of me. Now, her outfit's hot. I wish I had that outfit on my character, and I've used it on different characters. I've eventually gone to this white dress, my white ensemble. Another quick aside, I don't know, I don't think I dressed up G.I. Joes. They were like Barbie-sized dolls for boys that had kung fu grip, and they could, we were really war society, teaching us how to do war and stuff. So I had G.I. Joes. I wasn't worried about what they were wearing, but Lord help me that I worry about what my characters are wearing and how their hair looks and all that other stuff. Anyways, so all of these things are important. So once you get this skill to win friends and influence people, once you start looking at the world in that way, it's just another tool in your toolbox. Of course, you can brute force things. Of course, if you're physically bigger than someone, of course, you can intimidate them into doing it. But how long is it going to do? How long are they going to do that? A big seminal point in my leadership was this. I was in the Coast Guard, and it seemed like I could get people to run through walls, but I also had I'm not going to cuss. I had a dump truck load of positional power. And I was bosun mate, which was the leader class of the NCO class of the Coast Guard, of the enlisted part. So I always had people under me, and I eventually became like a operations boss, and I became a officer in charge for 2 units. So I had the position power to do that. I've always had this I've always had leadership capabilities. Like I'm not, I'll think of the word again. It's like when you're the leader, it's senior moment. You too. Anyways, I've always been that kind of leader. When I got out of the Coast Guard, was I still going to have that? When I didn't have that authority behind me, I had to win friends and influence people. But that was an easy switch. And I got into leadership positions all after I got out of the Coast Guard. And that's when I knew this stuff worked. And I did it with my family to various degrees. But you wonder, like, when you're influencing people, that seems a lot like, manipulation. So you got to be careful of that. Any tool you have, there's a dark side to that tool. So now he's telling, remember, that's the guy whose kid I smoked? And I'm like, I smoked your kid before, bro. You can't stop me now. This guy's saying, hey, we made a deal. And then this guy's saying, I'm telling you, your duty, you got to kill this Jedi.
I want that Jedi.
And he said, I promise. He goes, I'm ordering you to do it.
I apologize
He bows.
for reneging on our deal, but I have orders.
And that's Roxy.
I recommend you surrender.
He's kind of bummed that he has to break his word to me. But I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Watcher, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to kill your buddies first so they can't see you punk out. And I'll go over to your other buddy. And now I'm going to take him and put some whoop ass on you. So these are all skills you need to have. These are all skills that work. It's another set of your tools that you can bring to every situation. And eventually, you don't want to fight with your loved ones. You want to help get to equal goals. And you have to realize this whether you like it or not. Eventually in life, the goals aren't just yours. Maybe it's your team goals, maybe your spouse goals. If you have kids, it's going to be your kids' goals. There's going to be some point where you're not the main character in your movie. So, as with this character, I end up telling him, I'm going to set you free. You can't go back to that guy. He'll kill you. Now, he's been playing me the whole time. He may think he got over on me.
You can't return to the Empire.
And it doesn't matter. We're not taking score, so there's not a scorecard. So this is the other thing. There's no scorecard. You just want the people you care about. You want to get what you want to do, and you can make it where everyone wins.
Gudera, are you all right?
This is the jerk that we've been trying to get, Mr. Whoop-de-Doo.
SWTOR? That old man never gives up, does he?
So YouTube, I appreciate you. I apologize for the intermittent YouTube problems that are probably caused by my filthy mouth. I promise not to be as filthy. I appreciate everyone. Thanks for helping me get to 500 eventually. Ronakazi out.